Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Sea of Thieves. Today we'll be taking on the Ashen Lord. If you don't know who the Ashen Lord is, it's basically just a skeleton that breathes fire and has Lord in its name. But Captain Rufus decided we should take it on because he really wants blood. So I decided we should go ahead and do it so we can make the captain happy. Captain Rufus also told me that after we get to 100 subscribers, we will be posting a poll on our channel to decide what outfit he will be wearing until the next 100, meaning at 200 we will change his outfit again. So if you do want to stay tuned for that, we will notify everyone before we even do it, and we'll do it in an episode, and I'll tell you whenever we're polls live or whatever, so you can pick what outfit you like the most, and I'll also post another clip of all the outfits so you can pick one that you want. So please, enjoy the video and subscribe. This is a 2-day video, so it's 2 days into one, so that most of it's cut out. So we did have an Ashen Lord in this server, so I decided it'd be a good idea to go ahead and stock up on supplies. I go around looking for stuff, and when I go back to my ship, I saw something glowing, and it turns out it's a book, and it's blank. I've never had this happen before, so I brought it on my ship. I don't sell it, because I don't really expect it to be worth anything. But I just thought it was cool, and I've never seen one blank before. I'm guessing someone left and it went blank as it was sinking, and that's what happened, but I'm not completely sure. So it's like, I can show you here, like it's completely blank. There's nothing in it. You can't turn the pages or anything. It's just blank. So it doesn't even have the name. So we're going to get our supplies. We're going to get a supply crate because we're going after a boss. I'm going to go ahead and stock up this crate and get everything in the barrels. After that, we're going to go ahead and put everything on the ship, and look over there, there is a skeleton fort. So we're going to go over there and get some more supplies because those have good cannonballs and stuff if I decide to do the cannonball route with the Ashen Lord. By the way, this will be my first time doing the Ashen Lord in a public session. I've only done it in safer seas, so I have no idea what to expect in high seas. So we're going to go ahead and check the map for Reapers. There was none. I'm going to make sure I blow up any kegs in the towers. There's one in that cat tower. And there is one in this tower, but I missed the first time and get it the second time. Rufus was disappointed and impressed at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and go onto the island, and we're going to go to each barrel and just basically take everything. We get throwables and we get cannonballs, which if we want to do the cannonball route, like I said, we would probably not, but there is a way to take out the Ashen Lord with just cannonballs. So we're going to go ahead and leave that island after looting it, and right as I left the island, I noticed that the Ashen Lord was completed, and I didn't remember where it was. But a Fort of Fortune did spawn, which I'm going to do that in a future episode. So what I do is I go to an island real quick, and I wait for one to spawn, because I knew if I tried to do a raid voyage, I wouldn't get as much loot. So I just decided to wait for a new one to spawn, and I did find a mermaid statue, a red one. This is the third red one in a row for each video. So I look around for a keg, couldn't find one, decided to go ahead and go back and use my throwables. I missed the first one, hit the second one, and then I was dumb and decided to use my fire bombs to hit a statue that was in water. Yes, you heard me right, a statue that was in water. I used fire bombs. I know, stupid, right? I'm attacking this thing, and out of nowhere, to my left, I get attacked by phantoms. I heard them spawn, but didn't see them at first, so I thought maybe they'd despawn, and they didn't. I ran out of ammo while in the fight, so I had to basically run across the island to get more ammo. But eventually, when I took them out, I was able to come back and take out the statue, which was good because it gave us 2 gems instead of 1, which we usually got if you've watched the other episodes. But I just take these back to the ship, which took forever because the ship was on the other side of the island. But that's basically all I got on this island before I decided it was best to turn in, because I got a notification from Twitter that Sea of Thieves announced that they were going to take their servers offline to do some repairs, and which sucks just because I was on my way to a fort that just spawned and decided that it was not safe for me to attack the fort while the servers were about to go offline, so I ultimately decided to go back to a outpost and sell the 3 things that I got, which was an ashen chest and 2 rubies from that statue. After going and selling, and yes, I did end up just running to the gold hoarder to trade in, because it would have taken me a whole long time to go around to the back of the island to go to the sovereigns, so I decided just to go ahead and run to the gold hoarder to turn in there. I also forgot to, I forgot to lower my flag before I got off, so we didn't get any money from the actual flag, nor did we get any of the emissary value from that flag. but that's completely okay as long as we do better tomorrow. So I go ahead and sell, and I do make a little more than I spent today, which was good. And then I grab everything into my storage chests, and I do what I normally do, which is just drop the storage chest off inside the tavern and just leave them there for if anyone does get on, which people weren't probably going to get on because, you know, the servers were about to go offline. But I decided to go ahead and just do it just in case, you know, in case someone wants to go out and do one voyage before the servers go offline. That concluded day 1 of searching for an Ashen Lord. Yeah, no, today was not, you know, 100% the best day. We got 3 pieces of loot before we had to get off because of the servers, but I can promise you now that day 2 was way better. So we start off the day basically by, you know, the normal stuff of doing all the loot and grabbing it and going into the merchant and buying a storage crate so that way we could get us some supplies. And then we decide to loot every single barrel on the island like you normally would. After we get everything on the island, I went ahead and boarded the ship, set sail, and then remembered, oh yeah, proceeded to swim back to the dock, run across the dock, run across the island, all the way over to Gold Hoarder to put down the emissary flag that I forgot to put up in the first place. So yeah, that was fun. Not really, but I had to go and get it because we needed the extra money and everything. I go ahead and put Rufus on the table, Captain Rufus, sorry, and there was a Reaper, but I didn't see it until just now, so you just saw my live reaction to that. We're going to go ahead and dive because there wasn't a Ashen Lord in this server anyway, and I know I'm probably going to get less loot, but we're more here for the fight than we are for the loot. I go ahead and I come up and I'm right there next to the island, which I thought I'd give a little more time to, you know, get my bearings, but I guess this is as good a time as any to go ahead and fight a demonic skeleton. So we're going to go ahead and park our ship a decent ways away from the island so that way the Ashen Lord's attacks will not hit the ship and sink it, because I've had that happen before and it is not fun. Like I said, this is my first time doing it in a public session. It is not my first time doing it. I did do it on a Safer Seas session, but I thought I'd go ahead and do my first ever in a real high seas server session playthrough, go through. And you're probably wondering, am I going to cut out that because I kind of messed up? No, I am not, because it took me 20 years to even get this one recorded because I kept messing up. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and row over to the island. I'm going to have to reorient myself because I didn't aim towards the island, so I had to fix myself. So then we fly over to the island. Yes, I said fly. Like I said, I'm not going to redo this one because I've been doing it for the last 20 minutes. So I guess you can count that as a blooper. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get to the island. I'm going to put my chest over here, and we're going to head over to the Ashen Lord over there. I just wanted to make sure that my ship was far enough away, and I'm pretty sure it was. So I decided to go ahead and go and fight. As I'm walking there, I see an explosive keg, and I know I can use that to do the first bit of damage almost instantly. You can see my mermaid popped up over there, which was convenient because it wasn't too far away in case I needed to get back to my ship. So I take this over, and the fight begins. So I run over, and they see that I'm coming in, so they go ahead and get aggroed to me. I run over with the chest, or the keg, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, I'm done redoing all these because, you know, I messed up tons of times, and, you know, it might just be funny just to leave them in. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and start this fight. The fight lasted a very long time, so I had to cut it down. No, I did leave in, like, the big good bits of the fight. I stayed under cover so that way their attacks from the sky would not harm me. After big attacks, I went and checked to see, make sure the ship wasn't on fire. It wasn't, so we were good. The Ashen Lord kept doing this weird smoke screen thing, but I don't know why, because you can still see the Ashen Lord, so it was completely useless. But don't tell them that. Let them, you know, use their frustration and anger to do these attacks so that we could just get free hits. So I keep attacking it, and eventually it does go down for the first time. And that means I think it's the first phase, and then it goes into the second phase, which I don't know the difference. But I do attack the Ashen Lord while they're down, and it's Red Ruth. It's I guess a girl. I'm not going to assume anything. It could be a guy. I'm not sure. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and fight them, and it takes quite a while, and then it gets into another phase, which this is one of the most nightmarish phases, which is the raining fire from above phase. If you don't know what that does, basically she just summons a huge cloud above her and rains meteors down on the island. So I went undercover so that way I could be safe from the meteors. After that attack, I do double check my ship, make sure it's still good and it's not on fire and sinking, and it was completely fine, so I decided to get back into the fight. After fighting for a while, I ended up accidentally trapping the Ashen Lord into the cave, which is not a good idea, because if you do trap him in the cave, this happens. Everything's on fire, and you can't get to the reload thing because you're a dum-dum and decided, you know what, I'm going to put her in the cave right between me and the reload. But she did launch me up, so I did jump over her. I almost died though, which is not good because I don't have a real fast way of getting back. I did decide that this was also a good thing that she was in the cave, so that way if she did try to throw anything at me, it would just hit the roof of the cave, which she does several times, but it doesn't hit me because, like I said, it just hits the roof, and that's it. Here, she's doing her final attack, and I get some more shots in. These were good shots. I did miss a few because I got to hit the tree or the bush or whatever it was, but I did get a few good hits in. And right after she finished the attack, I hit her twice, and she died. I was so happy to finally get over this fight. You could see me excited that I finally did it after all these years. Now, I didn't get as much loot as if you just do the random encounter, you know, the event as it spawns in normally. I just got like the skull and a few chests and then like a few like trinkets. That was it. So Captain Rufus was a little disappointed in me because I didn't bring home the score. But I did make about to him later in the video if you want to see that, and I'd get more loot and stuff before we decide to sell. So I go ahead and harpoon all the loot on, and I go and check the island to make sure there was any more loot. I did find a few more trinkets, but that was it. Nothing too major and cool or anything. You can see me search the whole island. I basically run back and forth the island several times. I don't find anything else except for some ammo pouches. And, oh, I did find the gold that they dropped. I didn't even notice they dropped gold. It wasn't really, like you see, it's not worth much. Captain Rufus is sitting there in disapproval of how little we're going to make from this voyage. But, you know, I told him we'd get more blood for him, and he was happy enough as it is. So, harpoon on the little loot that we got from this, and I gotta say, that fight was actually pretty fun. I did enjoy it, just so people could see. I'm kind of looking around. I can't see anything else that we can do, really, except for that ghost fleet, which I'm not ready to do a ghost fleet yet. That will be a whole other video, because I tried a skeleton fleet, and that did not end well. So we will do other videos for those world events as well. I do leave behind the rowboat, the big cannon rowboat that we had, but there's a new one right there. I'm not going to take that one either. We're just going to go ahead and circle the island just to check for bottles, because I feel like the episode was a little short, so I decided to go ahead and look and went around the island, and that's about all I do here, is just I slowly coast around the island. So, as I sail around the island, I look and I see a captain or guardian, which is good because their skulls can sell for 5,000. Not only that, they have chests sometimes, so I decided I could go ahead and go for it. It did not take me long at all to take out that guardian, and after taking it out, I went and looked for the chest, and I ended up finding it. It wasn't too far away. It was literally on the same beach that I was on, so I ran over and dug it up. These chests are really cool because you can get gold and doubloons in them, as well as doubloon items, so it was really cool that I found it. I'm going to go ahead and bring it over and unlock it, and then put it in position to take it over to the ship. And this was a decent haul, but I kind of wanted a little more, so I was going to go look for another captain, or whatever, galleon, guardian, whatever. So I decided to go ahead and harpoon on all the loot and make everything more organized, and here's me showing off that I was in a high seas session with the skull from the Ashen Lord, so you could see that I was in the high seas, just for those who may not believe me in the future. And then this happens. No. If you don't know what this means, it means that there is not enough people in your session or server, or there's something wrong with the session or server, so it moves you. You could just see it twitch there. That was me going into a new server. You could also hear me say, oh, no, or whatever. I say no, and that's because I thought it'd get rid of all my loot, but it didn't. Also, when I came back up, there was another Guardian in the same spot. So I guess that whole session thing was actually a blessing in disguise. So I go down there and actually take out that skeleton, and it was another Guardian with another chest. So we go and dig up the chest and everything, and I bring it to the ship, and if we're wondering what was inside it, it was exactly what we got before. It was a book and then like a doubloon and then gold. So we go ahead and we sail towards the outpost, which was Maverick's outpost, which is basically like a sea fort, and we get attacked by skeletons who have cannons. That seems like a running theme with our videos, is that we get attacked by skeletons with cannons. So we head over and everything, and as we're heading over, I see that little swirly swirl in the sky. I think I wanted to go for it, and I went ahead to go sell, so that way whenever I went to it, I wouldn't be opposed and everything. But as I got closer, I realized something, and I'll tell you later. You'll see and everything because they pass by. So I grab everything with the harpoon gun from my ship and everything, and this took forever because I couldn't really aim it right, and I eventually did get everything on, and I was going to go ahead and do my daily thing of putting all the storage chests I got and stuff there so people could have them. I sold, and then I checked to see how much I made, which I made, what's right there, 41,566. So we made a little less than 50,000, but I went ahead and accepted it. And if you're wondering, the swirly swirl was basically a player sloop who was passing by. I was happy that I sold at that time because I didn't know if they were actually coming for me, and by the time I got there, they're like, yeah, no, it's not worth it, or what. But here are my ranks: 2 in Reapers, 43 in Gold Hoarder, 17 Merchant, 34 in Order of Souls, 7 in Hunter's Call. That's basically my levels as of this moment. And then I basically signal to everyone nearby that I'm put down some stuff to like call people over to go grab the storage crates that I had. So we got our captain's dance from the captain. He so kindly gave it to us, even though we had some big failures in the loot department today. But yeah, so I just want to thank you all for enjoying the series so far, and it means a lot to me that a lot of people have been watching the stuff, and I hope I get more people to watch more stuff later, and I'll see you next time. Peace.